Hello, my name is Thomas Russell, graduate student in the Interactive Technology program through the College of Human Environmental Sciences at the University of Alabama. The goal of this presentation is to give you an overview of 3 scholarly articles that I found in regards to gaming and education. Now, the reason why I chose gaming and education is because I'm a 7th grade social studies teacher and I'm constantly looking for ways to bring real-world experiences into the classroom. I often look at certain lessons and wonder, how can I engage the students a little bit more? What kind of hook can I use to get them engaged with the content? How do I make it relevant for them? But I also noticed that many of my students were using gaming systems such as Xbox or PlayStation 3. They'd often use or play games called Minecraft or SimCity, these virtual games on the computer. And knowing that the students are really into the gaming aspect of it, I often thought, are there ways that I could actually incorporate gaming into the classroom, but yet make it relevant? Would it actually enhance student comprehension? Would they become better students if they used gaming in the classroom? So I found these articles that really solidified my ideas and really dive into the benefits of gaming and education. So let's begin. Now, the first article is going to be called Active Gaming, the Future of Play. And Lisa Witherspoon, who wrote the article, actually goes into many specific benefits as far as developmental benefits from a young age. When students are engaging in some form of gaming, what they're finding out is that their cognitive levels are increasing, their self-awareness. They're able to react a little bit better. They can work through problems a little bit better. But even more specifically, that using this form of technology, it doesn't always have to be at a very rapid pace. Too often in times in classes, many teachers have a schedule to keep up with. They have a certain curriculum that they get through. But the use of technology will allow teachers to go at a slower pace. It's going to make learning more relevant. It's going to be called what Lisa calls intrinsically motivated, which means the kids are going to want to actually learn because they're excited about the games. It's making learning relevant. They're showing that my grades are going up. And let's face it, when a student is excelling in school, they're going to want to learn. It's going to increase their self-worth. Their self-esteem is going to go up, and they're going to be a much better student. Through this research article, she also found that kids spend about over 6 hours a day using some form of technology. Now, these are kids ranging from the ages between 8 and 18. That's a tremendous amount of time, figuring that they're in school for 8 hours, should sleep for 8 hours. So there's 16 hours right there. So the bulk of the other time is basically spent using technology in some way. Now, the use of this we could actually use for learning in the classroom, which provides many benefits. And part of these benefits we'll look at how can we actually use it in school, which is going to bring us to our second scholarly article, which is gaming as a platform for the development of innovative problem-based learning activities. Now, what Sadler noticed or wrote about in his article, that since about 1980, science, math, and technology have, from year to year, been a concern. It was comparing some test scores between the 1980s and 1970s, and some of the math and science scores actually went down. And what he noticed, and what he wrote about in his article, was that teachers need to find ways to actually create problems. How can we enhance the level and the depth of knowledge from our students? How can we bring real-world problems, these real-world scenarios, into the classroom? And gaming is one. And, he identifies gaming as this thing called video technology to enhance education. For example, there was a website called Shepherd Software where students can go on and sort of play virtual games to learn more about U.S. geography, African, European geography, And then there are also different levels as well. So not only are the students gaining the educational benefit, but they can also challenge themselves by going through different levels. Now this gaming provides what we call like a virtual environment. When Sadler writes about the virtual environment, kids can kind of get lost in this mythical reality world, of video games. But now more so, they're actually getting lost in these virtual environments of education, and they're submersing themselves with learning and knowledge and resources, and they continue to want to find more and more. And they're learning to problem solve. Part of this problem-based learning is also to write software, learn about computer science, not just specific look at or read from a textbook, but identify specific problems and learn to identify what are the solutions to those problems. Now, the last aspect of this is once we identified in the very beginning that from a very early age, developmentally, games can definitely help children grow. They become better students. And then we looked at these ideas called problem-based learning. And then we get to the last thing, which is called gaming research for technology education. And what we are finding out through the Clark and Ernest article is that math, motivation, retention levels all increase with the use of technology. That once again, it's going to create a development of increased cognitive development. It's going to create what we call spatial orientation, meaning that students will be able to organize, they'll be able to clarify ideas. It's going to improve higher order thinking. No more in the classroom will they just do things with what we call factual recall, where they just simply regurgitate an answer, but they'll be able to go a little bit more in depth and learn more specifically about a certain topic. And then it's also going to create these 21st century skills that many businesses and corporations are going to look for. I mean, let's face it, learning about math and social studies and science, it's great, but too often many students ask, why do I need this? What am I going to use it for? Is this going to help me in my job interview? And through the use of technology, students are learning these necessary life skills that certain employers are going to be looking for. And let's face it, any job that you have today, I would say 90% of them use technology in some form or fashion, even whether it's just for clocking in or basically sending an email. So introducing students to these skills is going to be vital for their success. And then lastly, Ernst writes about this idea called pedagogy. Now, pedagogy, as he explains, is simply the way that a teacher implements education in their classroom. And what we're finding is that more and more teachers recognize the fact that students need these 21st century skills, and they're starting to add more and more technology into their curriculum. But more importantly, they're finding ways to make learning relevant. Technology is a great tool, but we have to make sure that it's useful and relevant. And what Ernst and Clark found are that teachers are finding useful and relevant ways to actually use technology. Now, I appreciate your time for listening to this presentation. Again, gaming and education provides many benefits for students. We looked at from the active gaming perspective, it enhances the cognitive development. And then we can also incorporate a little bit deeper into the problem-based learning aspect, where technology is used to identify problems and then also create solutions. And then finally, we looked at gaming research for technology and how teachers are adding gaming into their pedagogy and incorporating more and more elements into the classroom. Again, my name is Thomas Russell, graduate student in the Interactive Technology program at the College of Human Environmental Sciences at the University of Alabama. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful day.